do a perfume review of Anubis. So thanks to Adrian from our Fragcom UK Facebook group for letting me buy a small decant from him, and that's the decant there. So I've already just done a spray here, and I also did a little bit on this pink post-it note with 1 PM written on it. On the paper, I feel it's more leathery in the opening than it is on my arm. I definitely prefer it on my skin. It is leathery. There's quite a lot of leather. When I first sprayed it in the air, it did remind me of zoologist's rhinoceros. It's really quite leathery and kind of a bit animalic, I guess. Only because of the leather. I find, you know, leather is from animals, therefore animalic. But you know what I mean? It's kind of a very base note. And I don't mean it's a base note, although of course it is. Ah! What am I talking about? Do you know what? It's been a really long day. Anubis is not for your gourmand seekers. It is not for your sweet treat lovers. It is savoury. Savoury, earthy, slightly smoky. It does, I mean, it brings to mind the pyramids of Egypt. If you were to go and take a trip and visit the inside of a pyramid or a tomb or something, I feel like it would smell a bit like this, with the earthiness, the smoke from the incense, the various ointments that they've used to preserve the bodies. It's really, really multi-layered, fascinating fragrance. I think I can smell clay. I don't know. It's so different. But yeah, I would say it's earthy. It feels like there's something cutting through, so it's not just all deep, dark, bass kind of notes. It feels like there might be a little bit of magic going on in there. Maybe the perfumer Liz, who definitely is a witch, she definitely does magic. And she's weaved something into here, which is lifting it up, but it's barely detectable. So there's something bright in there, but it's very well hidden. Almost lemon-like. Maybe it's a herb or something that's got a slightly lemon-like appeal. It's definitely changing on my skin, even in the short time I've been talking to you. I will be interested now to give this a full wear-in and come back to you with some more musings and mumblings and utter rubbish. So please excuse the fact I'm wearing my dressing gown and my hair is not done. It's 8 AM on Saturday morning. I wore Anubis last night on my arm, and I just wanted to tell you how it smells this morning and let you know that it does still smell this morning, in case you were concerned about longevity. It certainly has gone the entire night on my skin. Yeah, I think we're talking about 11 hours at the moment. So now this is much less sort of animal kind of leather, and it's a little bit brighter. Almost feels like there's an orangey note in here. It's almost, it reminds me a little bit of spiced Christmas candles. You know when you have, or a pomander, I think. It's like a dried orange and some spices. It's really interesting. It's really quite different from how it was when I sprayed it on. So I just thought I would give you that for now, and obviously there will be more. Morning. It's 7:15 in the morning, and I'm going to be reviewing for you Papillon Perfumery Anubis. I wore some yesterday just on the back of my hand and made some notes, sort of gathered my thoughts on it. Today I'm going to wear it on my wrist so that I can come back and give you a proper review on Anubis. So I wore Anubis today on both my wrists, and I've gathered some more thoughts on it, and what I've noticed is in the far dry down it gets this lovely kind of mint-like feel. It feels like a furry mint, so imagine a mint imperial and then just roll it in a load of cat fur, one like that maybe. Excuse my my clean washing folded up on the bed. It really does have this kind of minty or menthol eucalyptus kind of feel, and it definitely has a nutty and woody feel as well. But that's what I noticed when I had it on my wrist today, but I haven't actually given it a full wearing yet, so here goes. So tonight I'm going out for dinner with my mum, her partner and my brother, so I'm going to wear Anubis properly for the first time ever. So I'm going to do it on camera, just so you know that I'm definitely doing it. I'm going to go one here. Woo! It's so strong when you first do it. I'm going to do one on each wrist. So I'll do one here, which is holding the camera, and then I'll do one on the other one off camera. What I'm noticing is it is so strong when it first goes on, and it is definitely very leathery, but that leveriness does calm down fairly quickly. And whilst I don't love it in the opening, because I'm not a massive fan of leather, it really does change on your skin, and within half an hour I really enjoy this fragrance. It's not one I would pick very often because it's quite different from my usual stuff, but it is really worthy of a review, and it's very worthy of you testing it. I will be back. So I wore Anubis last night and I actually really enjoyed it. I was a little bit afraid because I thought it was going to be masculine, too smoky, too leathery, and not really my thing, because I do like my fragrances quite sweet. But as it happens, it does have a sweetness to it when it warms up on your skin, once you let that leatheriness subside a little bit. And it only takes about 10 to 15 minutes before the leatheriness starts to retreat a little bit, and actually I really enjoy it. I do really like it. It's completely different to everything else I've got in my collection, so I will definitely be wearing it on the odd occasion, which is interesting because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel once I properly tried this one. So here it is, my review on Papillon Perfumery Anubis. So here is my decant. I've worn it a few times now and tested it on numerous occasions, so I've even written some notes. Okay, I just sprayed a little bit on the back of my hand about 3 minutes ago, so that's just to remind me of the opening. And it's definitely extremely smoky. I do get a lot of leather in the opening, so yes, it definitely opens up with quite a lot of leather. It reminded me initially when I first sprayed it of Zoologist Rhinoceros, and it also kind of reminded me a tiny bit of Tuscan leather, only because in my mind any leather heavy fragrance kind of does remind me of those two fragrances. And I think when there's a note that you don't particularly love, it can dominate in your own senses and it feels like it's just a lot of leather, but actually it's not. So it opens up, smoky leather. I've written down on my notes, trees on fire. So imagine dry trees on fire, the smoke from that. But in somewhere around a half an hour mark, that excess of leather really calms down, starts to take a back seat, which is the point that I really then start to enjoy the fragrance. I also get a little kind of a menthol eucalyptusy kind of thing coming from it. I'm not sure what that is. It definitely smells, as I say, either minty or eucalyptus. It's got that menthol feeling. And when my mum smelt it on me, I wore it the other night, and she said it reminded her of coal tar soap it's before my time. Probably not a flattering comparison, but that's what she said. Coal tar soap, and she also said it smelled medicated, and I think that she was also picking up on that mentholated kind of thing. Not that that's a very dominant note, but it does come out in there. You will notice it in amongst the smoke and the woods and the resins. So the leather definitely takes a back seat within, say, half an hour or so, and it becomes much more palatable to me because, as I say, leather's not my favourite note, so I'm glad that it's not leather dominant. I've written here that it smells like ancient churches, religious ceremonies. It's kind of esoteric and magical at the same time. It's something really mysterious about the fragrance, and I think maybe that is the resins and the smoke. It just gives you that feeling you could be at a pagan ritual or something like that. It's really, really quite interesting. 2 hours in, I still notice the eucalyptus, the smoky woods, the resins, but I've also said sawdust in a long disused pub. So imagine like an old spit and sawdust pub, and it's also got that kind of a musty feeling that it's not had anyone in it for a long time, but you can still smell the sawdust on the floor. The leather is much more unnoticeable. The leather's much less noticeable after about the 2 hour mark as well. It's still there, but it's really not that strong, which is great for me. It just gives it a really nice balance. I also started to notice a light sweetness at around that 2 hour mark, almost like jasmine scented incense. So still lots of smoke, just a hint of something sweet coming through. Around about 2.5 hours in, it was kind of cooling, so where it was smoky and warm in the opening, it reminded me of coals that are cooling down, so not quite so hot and sultry, if that makes any sense. The smoke started to lie down a little bit as well, and it became very much about the resins and a kind of earthy woodsiness, with the smoke playing slightly less of a role. 4 hours in, it became a little mineralic. So there was kind of like earthy mineral notes like you get when you smell earth and coal and that kind of stuff, just a little bit. And it was much less smoky, and there was more of this exotic floral incensey kind of thing, perhaps the jasmine in there. I think the leather was pretty much not noticeable to my nose at 4 hours in. It felt like the leather was no longer playing, but I definitely felt that there was vetiver, and this is the kind of vetiver that sings off your skin. And what I mean by that is sometimes vetiver can be very earthy, very rooty, and this felt like the vetiver, the same as in this one here actually. In here, the vetiver and the dry down is really, really beautiful. It's kind of high pitched and a little bit, not exactly sharp, but I'm not quite sure how to explain it, almost sweet. And it really does kind of sing off your skin. That's the only way I know how to describe it. Really, really beautiful. I don't actually know what the notes are. I will put them, I probably might have put them already at the beginning of the review, but they will definitely appear at some point, the actual notes, because I decided not to look them up because I want to tell you exactly how it smells to me. In terms of projection and longevity, this one is excellent on longevity, as you would expect from Papillon. I've got Tobacco Rose by Papillon Perfumery. It's one of my longer lasting fragrances from my whole collection. It's not a beast, which is good. It smells, when you first spray it, you think you are dealing with a beast, if I'm honest with you, because it is very strong and rich and kind of different and out there, and you feel like it's so strong. But within half an hour it calms down and it gives you an aura of about that far from your body, and then I would say you're going to get that most of the working day, so a good 8 hours, and then eventually just gets much closer to the skin. If you're looking for beast mode, I reckon you probably could get beast mode from that. I spray really, really lightly. I only did one spray here and one on each wrist because it is so strong. So I'm guessing if you were to do several sprays, you are going to get beast mode with Anubis. There is an excellent review of Anubis from Ed. I've forgotten the name of his channels. I can't remember, but I'm going to find it for you and I'll post it below because it's such a nice review from Ed, and I love the way he talks. Proper British, well-spoken young man. So I'll post that review because it's much better than this one, but this is just how I feel in my language about this fragrance. I think it's excellent. It's very different from my usual stuff, which is very sweet, but I definitely enjoy wearing it. It gives me a feeling of mystery. I will definitely wear it to convey that kind of sense if I feel the need to. So I think that's all. I'll catch you in the next video.